Hi, this is Edgenuity Algebra 2b, graphing radical functions. Get started. All right, so which of the following is the graph? So I cannot provide you guys with a graph because it's just taking too much space. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna graph it. So first of all, XY axis. All right, so understand that I'm gonna do transformation. So right now I'm drawing the parent function, okay? So the parent function for square root of x, it's something like this. Okay, now I'm going to be analyzing some reflection. So negative on the outside of the radical is going to give you a reflection like this. So over the x-axis. Okay, and then 4. So the 4 is going to make the curve steeper. So you're going to get a graph like this. So this is the one for negative 4 square root of x. That's the answer. So which graph represents that? Okay, so first of all, this is a cube root. Okay, so cube root is going to give you your parent function looking like this. Curve in quadrant 1, another curve in quadrant 3. Okay, so let's analyze what's happening with the x minus 5 as a radicand. So you want to set it equal to 0. So x minus 5 equals to 0. You add 5 on both sides. X equals to 5. Okay, which means that your curve is gonna, or both of your curves are gonna shift towards the right by 5 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's gonna be like this. All right, so next one. So what is the range of the function? So you know that the cube root, you're gonna have and then this cube root, right? And then this is x plus 8. So you set it equal to 0. So x plus 8 equals to 0. X equals to negative 8. So which means that when you're graphing this, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 towards the left. And then it's going to go both directions. Okay, so your range is how much your y is covering. Okay, you see that this is going towards the, technically, you're going to have to understand that when there's an arrow on both ends, it's going endlessly, right? Okay, so it's going to actually keep going up and going up and going up, and it's going to keep going down on the other side. Okay, so your range is going to be all real numbers. So all real numbers, this is the one, towards negative infinity and positive infinity. All right, so what is the domain of this function? So now domain is how much x is covering, how much ground x is covering. Okay, so let's draw the square root function. So understand that square root is going to give you a parent function looking like this. Okay, now let's analyze it. X minus 6, you want to set it equal to 0. So x equals to 6. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it's going to give you steeper. So your curve is going to be steeper. So it's going to be like this. Okay, so how do you even write this? How do you write domain for this? There's several ways to write it. You can write x is greater or equal to 6. Okay, but it's going towards an infinity, so you can pick that one. Well, that's the only one with a 6 in it, so why not, right? All right, next one. What function has the same domain as that one? So let's grab this one. So this is the square root, and then basically it's the parent function, but it's a 2, so it's going to be steeper. So the way to graph this one is going to be like this, a steeper curve towards the positive infinity. Okay, all right, so which one has the same one? this one is because this is a cube root. This is a cube root, so you can just eliminate that. This one right here, the third one, I'm gonna actually show you how that look. This one right here, you're gonna have your you're gonna go x minus 2, set it equal to 0, so x equals to 2. So for that one, you're gonna go towards the right. Okay, so which is not correct, because for the domain for this third option, domain is x greater or equal to 2. Okay, but we're looking for the domain is x is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, then I'll tell you why this one is correct. The first one is correct because for this one, it's gonna be steeper and starting from 0, 0. Okay, so for that one, your domain is going to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so first one is your answer. All right, so next one. So which function has the same range as that one? So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you why this one is the correct answer. Okay, so let's grab this one. So range is how much y is covering. So let's grab the original one with the blue. Okay, so you're gonna start with the parent function. Okay, I'm gonna erase it. This parent function is gonna have a reflection, so it's gonna go like this, and it's gonna be steeper because of the 2. So it's gonna be something steeper like this. Okay. All right. So this is telling you to go right by 3 units, and this is going up by 8 units. Okay. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and up by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So this is going to be your starting point. It's gonna go like that. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna show you the correct answer in red. Okay, so the range, we're focusing on just the range. Okay, so this one, you're gonna have a reflection. Okay, and then it's gonna go towards the left by 3 units. 1, 2, 3, going up by 8 units. So starting point right here. So this is gonna be your graph for the third option. Okay, you see that the range is how much y is covering. So both range has y is this is going down, so y is less than or equal to 8 for both of them. Okay, so let's go over the next one. So the next one, what's the domain for that? Okay, so domain is going to be, sorry. So I meant to draw this. So this is a parent function actually. So, okay, so this is your graph for square root of x. So the domain is going to be x is, well, how much x is covering. So x is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so that's the one, greater than or equal to 0. All right, so next one, which statement best describes this? Okay, so first of all, we gotta understand that we got a bunch of negative 6's in there. Okay, so let's just graph this one. So just graph it and let's see what happened. So the xy axis, and then I'm gonna graph this. So I'm just go ahead and graph it. So it's gonna go right by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then up by 1. Starting point is right here, and it's gonna be something like that. Okay, and then this is gonna be the correct answer because negative 6 for the x. I'm gonna use that for the domain. Domain is about x, okay? So -6 is going to be right here. It's not part of the graph, okay? But for the range, for -6, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? For the range is going to be somewhere over here, okay? So the second one is the correct answer. All right, what's the domain of the function? So this one is actually pretty easy. I think I've done it earlier. So this is a cube root. So it's going to go both ways. Okay, so domain is all real numbers. This is the one for all real numbers. All right, what's the domain for? This isn't the same. Okay, it's a similar one, right? Maybe I can just explain this a little more. So this time, it's going to be a cube root again, but x minus 1 set equal to 0. So x minus 1 set equal to 0, x equals to 1. So you're going to go towards the right. It's going to go both ways. So it's still all real numbers. Okay, this one is it because it's from negative infinity all the way towards positive infinity. All right, so what's the range of the function? So let's graph this out. So you're going to have x minus 5 set equal to 0, x equals to -5 in here. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 5, and it's going to be a curve like this. Oops, sorry, my bad. That was my bad. I read it wrong. So -5. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so what's the range? So we're talking about how much y is covering. Okay, sloppy writing, but excuse my writing. And then basically y is anything from y equals to 0, right? Okay, anything above y equals to 0. So the range is going to be y is greater than or equal to 0. This lesson is basically about range and domain, so you're going to have to really understand it. Okay, how does a graph of y equals to square root of x plus 2 compare to the graph of the parent square function? Okay, so parent function is square root of x. Okay, so plus 2 is basically telling you to go up by 2. Okay, so 2 units up. Bunch of words you hate to write. Okay, this is a crazy one. So y equals to square root of -4x minus 36. How do you compare that to a parent function? So I'm going to tell you this. So you need to first factor the -4 from both. So factor the -4 from both terms. So it would be -4 and then x plus 9. Okay. All right. So next thing you want to do is understand that in order to simplify this square root function, you have to know that the -4. Sorry, use it. -4, you can write it as -2 times 2. Okay, so it allows you to underline 2 of the same, circle 1, cancel 1, bring this one out. So you're going to get y equals to 2 and then square root of -x plus 9. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to analyze this for you. Okay, so this is going to give you a factor of 2. So factor of 2 means it's going to get steeper. So factor of 2. And then unfortunately, all the answers has got factor of 2. All right, so reflected over which one? So if you have the negative inside the radical, this is going to be a reflection over y-axis. Okay, so y-axis is the answer. So it cannot be x-axis, cannot be x-axis. Left you with choice number 3 and 4. And then you have to set this x plus 9 equals to 0. And then you see that x equals to negative 9. So which means I have to go left by 9 units. So it cannot be choice number 3. So last choice is your correct answer. Here it comes. Last question. All right, so which function has a range includes negative 4? Okay, so let's graph this out. So you have the square root functions, and it goes down by goes down by 5 units. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's gonna get something like this. Range is negative 4. Basically, you're saying that when y equals to negative 4, does this red curve covers where y equals negative 4? It's right here. Okay, so that's why this one is the answer. Okay, so done with the quiz, and good luck, guys. Take care.